Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a game day edition of the JP Peterson Show. That's why I'm wearing my jersey. My sweater. I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. Put me.
I bet we wish he still played.
The last thing we need is me on ice. Yes, look at that. What is that? That's 91.
Stamkos, the captain.
What is that? Has a C on the chest.
I think you're trying to make a statement here, aren't you?
I kind of am. I looked in my closet this morning and I went, that might work today. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Greg Linnelli is going to join us from the Lightning Radio Network at 10:45 to talk some Lightning as the season is on the brink tonight, boys and girls. Elimination game tonight in Montreal. The Bell Center will be popping. You think? Yeah. But you know what? I've seen this team rise up in these exact moments and play their best hockey. Question is, my friend, is this the same team? And the answer to that is resoundingly no. But does that mean they can't win tonight? No. It just means they got to reach back and find that winning formula that worked for them so often. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. Also today, coming up on the big program, Daryl Jackson will be joining us. He is going into the Sports Club of Tampa Bay Hall of Fame on June 3rd at our big banquet, which I will be emceeing. Honored to do so for I believe this is my 7th or 8th time doing that. Wow. But it is a absolute wonderful night, one of the best nights of the entire calendar year. And we will all come together as Tampa Bay sports folks, a bunch of our old Hall of Famers, our new Hall of Famers, welcome them in and really celebrate Tampa Bay sports. So if you do not have your tickets for that, and it will sell out if it's not already sold out, I have a board meeting this week. We'll find out. But there are still some tables available. So sportscluboftampabay.org is where you go and get your table right now. And Daryl Jackson will join us. Played for the Florida Gators, played for Tampa Catholic, and had a long run with the Seattle Seahawks as well. So we'll talk with him, one of the great local stars here. He'll join us in studio at 11:30, along with the great Lou Maggio, president of the Sports Club of Tampa Bay. So we'll do a little celebration of local heroes, which we're going to be doing over the next month. We'll have all the Hall of Famers on the show and get ready for a big evening. So we'll do that. We'll talk some Rays baseball. They got a big weekend of promotions and baseball and questions to answer from the Hillsborough County Commission. So we learned a lot yesterday about what's holding this deal up, and it's significant. There are significant answers that need to come from the Rays. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And the county has gotten some of them. They don't feel it's complete on a lot of them, and this stuff needs to get done, and it needs to get done in short order. And so we'll talk about that and what those questions and answers might be. And, so we'll get through all that. And also, college sports is obviously gone, and it's changed a lot. Let's just put it that way. It's changed a lot. And big reforms are coming. Yesterday, there was a meeting actually here in Tampa, which Rob Higgins attended, and all the state athletic directors talking about what needs to be done and what maybe legislation can be drawn up here in Florida to help the colleges, the state universities kind of navigate these waters from a financial standpoint. And obviously that drives winning and losing these days, obviously, with the money that's going into NIL. So we'll hit a couple of those topics, interesting things that came up yesterday, not the least of which was Rob Higgins asking legislators to codify rivalries. In other words, we want to bring back the war on I-4. And I think it's absolutely essential to do so. These state colleges all have financial issues, right? They all have financial issues. And one way you can attack that is by what? Selling tickets to these competitions. including a football game featuring USF and UCF, which always sells out. And none of your games sell out at USF. UCF probably so, because they've had their on-campus stadium for quite some time. But going into a new stadium, every other year, you would like to pencil in a sellout, would you not? For now, 31, what is it going to be, 31 or 30-some thousand at the new stadium? You should sell out a few games, but that one should be a tight sellout. Should be a tight sellout. Bottom line is you should not be ignoring obvious opportunities to make more revenue. And this is the most obvious of all. Renew the rivalries and make sure that athletic directors on both sides cannot wiggle out of them. Put it in the legislature. In fact, that's how Florida State actually finally got to play, Timmy. You may not know this, but the Gators were scared to play Florida State when they first started playing football. That's right. They were chicken. Oh, actually, so Florida was like, you know, the best way to not, have a little brother come up on your heels, right, is to ignore them, right? That's the best way to handle it. Just ignore them. Don't play them. They can't beat you. There's no really upside to it for the big dog, right? It's only good for the little dog. So finally, the legislature had to threaten the University of Florida to get the game to happen, and they did. And finally, it was, and they played ever since. And that's the way. And I think, this should be codified in all the. There should be a rotation. Florida State should be playing FAU, FIU. If you have these state universities, you got to help them out. I think that's fair. If you're going to go play, Northern Illinois or worse, Jacksonville State and lose, you might as well at least get a state college, a chance to get a payday. That just makes sense to me. So I think Rob Higgins, once again, with a brilliant idea. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But we will begin this morning with this. And this is this Lightning logo. And obviously, Steven Stamkos is gone. And I'm not sitting here saying that we should have signed him for a 4-year, $8 million deal. I'm not saying that. The addition of Jake Gensel, essentially replacing Steven Stamkos, has been brilliant. It worked. Gensel has been fantastic. He's filled up the score sheet. He's done everything you've wanted, and you've won a lot of games. And there's no question about that. My question is there, with your captain out and Victor Hedman and really missing most of the season, not being a factor, is there a leadership vacuum on this team? And I'm not talking about at the top in John Cooper. And it's this series is not the reason I'm bringing it. I've talked about this since Stamkos left. Who was going to step up? And I think Brandon Hagel has done that in a very big way. I mean, you could not ask anything more of a guy in this series, but not just this year, but last year as much. And, you look at, there's always the secret sauce, right? To when you have championship teams, and I've covered a lot of them across all sports. And I kind of study the subject. And what is it that makes these teams special? And one of the things is obviously leadership. It's leadership in the room. And, I've covered some fantastic leaders, from Derek Brooks and Rodney Barber and that crew and John Lynch to, you go back to the first Lightning team and Dave Andrechuk was Marty St. Louis, who's now behind the bench in Montreal. Just incredible leaders on that team. And Dave kind of brought the whole thing together. You see it, I covered the back-to-back Florida teams with Harford and Noah. Just great leadership on those teams. I mean, guys that could do it, and it just brought everybody with them into the fight. And it's absolutely essential to championship teams. You see it time and time again. Tim Tebow at the University of Florida covered that team. I mean, find me a better leader than that dude. It's just, Derek Brooks at Florida State, Charlie Ward, a quiet guy, but a great leader, a great leader. And this team, when they won the Cup, Steven Stamkos was there. He was there, and he was their leader, and he was unquestioned leader. And he had a very special way of, and I'm not talking, he was not necessarily a turn the tables over kind of guy, but when he spoke, you listened. There was a gravitas involved in that. And all the players came along, including Kucherov. And Cooch could be, he could be a moody guy. We all know this. He's not the most popular certainly among the media, and that's not his job. He could be a villain and he doesn't mind doing it. But Kucherov has got to be better than he has been in these playoffs. There's no question about it. And I'm not singling him out. The entire team needs to be better. And in this moment, facing elimination is when leadership has to be omnipresent. And Kucherov, Pierre LeBrun wrote a piece talking about his body language, which if you're a Lightning fan, this is nothing new. This is the way he's always played. I think, with a little bit more national spotlight on him and the fact that he's only scored one goal in 19 playoff games, the numbers are there. And he has just been the marked man. Now, obviously, in the two Panthers series with a lot of cheap shots, I wouldn't say as much in this series. Montreal's done a good job. But also you look at, the start of that third period, and there's a rebound that comes right to Cooch with an open net. He just doesn't miss. Yeah, I think the puck jumped a little bit, no question about it. But those are moments that he usually steps up. And leadership involves production. You cannot be a good leader without producing. You got to be, leaders are not, very rarely do you find great leaders on the fourth line. I mean, there are exceptions, but rarely. Very rarely do they come off the bench in basketball, football, or baseball. It's just not the way it works. You got to produce. You got to be one of those guys. And Kucherov needs to be special tonight. He needs to be special, as does Brandon Hagel and Gensel and Cirelli. And most of all, Vasilevsky, who I think has been tremendous in this series overall, but the two goals that he wants back were winners. And that matters too. Slavkovsky's overtime goal and the Texier goal. Those are not goals that Vasilevsky lets in the playoffs. That wasn't the case. But we're seeing it now. And this Lightning team is on the verge of going out for the fourth straight year in the first round.
You know what we haven't seen in this series that you expect to see from a Lightning, at least one game in a series, is Vasilevsky stealing a game. And that's partially on the rest of the defense, obviously. But I don't think we've seen that yet. Maybe tonight's the night?
He'll have to. He'll have to, because this Montreal team is going to be jumping. The only thing you hope, and Montreal has not, I don't think they've played a bad game. Every team seems to every team has a stinker in the playoffs, usually in a series, right? There's one. Well, damn, it's about time. And maybe with the pressure on them to close out the series, they don't want to go back to Tampa. Not that this is some type of house of horrors for them, right? Everybody's winning in our arena. And that's another thing, I went back and listened to Cooper's postgame, and he used the word unacceptable a few times. And that's where leadership comes in. There are certain things that are just non-negotiable. And the fact that the Lightning have not had a lead after the first period in 21 games. By the way, curse you, Olympic break. Curse you, I curse you.
Kind of hurts right now, doesn't it?
Good God. You want to talk about night and day. Wow. And what the hell happened? I don't know. I wish I could put a finger on it, but it's not the same team. Not even close to that team that went 21-1. And I know the regular season and the playoffs are different, but we're talking 20 games in a row. You have not had the lead after the first period. I mean, that's just not good hockey. So this is a team and a night really that is kind of, I think, really important in the future of this franchise. Like, we get this back to a game 7, anything can happen. Montreal's been the better team. And the Lightning in a critical game 5, as we all know, the winner of game 5 in a 2-2 series, 80% wins the series. That's a strong number. So you have to bring your best, and you're at home, and you got everything going, and you lay a stinker like that. That's concerning. That's, to me, this team has the players. To me, is it leadership? What is it? What is it on this team? And I'm not talking about the head coach. I'm talking about in the room. because it's the room that sets the tone there. And it's got to be better. You know, you look at a slow change in the third period in a tie game. That's what gets you beat on the Texier goal. Come on now. In the playoffs, tie game, game 5, third period. Unacceptable. You know, listen, as an employee of the Lightning, it hurts me to say a lot of these things, but the reason I say them is because I know they're better. I know they're better, and they can get a better effort, and they can be better. That has to come tonight. May the ghost of Steven Stamkos rise up and be the leadership in the room, whatever it's going to take. Somebody take that mantle.
He's not dead.
I know.
He's just in Nashville.
Yeah. And
his career's dead.
He may come back. Who knows? But not soon. Not tonight. Steven Stamkos isn't walking through that room. And again, it's not Steven Stamkos, the player. It's just, is that what this team is lacking? Because what we've seen over the past few years is not the Lightning team we've known. And, you know, one of those losses to the Panthers was with Steven Stamkos. So I get that. I understand it. This slide started then. Well, actually started against Toronto, where they lost, 3 or 4 overtime games at home, 3 overtime games at home to lose that series. Unbelievable. So, you know, we've got to flip the script. At some point, we've got to flip the script. And tonight would be a good night to do it. Tonight would be a fantastic night to do it. And the Lightning have everything they need, you know, in that room to win tonight. They just got to step up and not accept losing and come with the supreme effort that I know they give when their backs are against the wall. This is when they always play their best hockey. When their backs are against the wall, this is when they play their best hockey, time and time again. So let's see it tonight at the Bell Center. I can't wait to watch the game. I can't wait.
But JP, I don't want to get into
trepidation.
I don't want to get into predictions, but I'm going to. Do you think we are one win away from a Lightning comeback? Because I think if the Lightning win Game 6, they win the series. Are we one win away?
Because they're so good at home?
From a momentum. Momentum's a real thing.
Yes.
They haven't had any yet in this entire series. Are we one win away from a Lightning comeback, or are we one loss away from not a franchise reset, but clearly a roster retool? Because you're not going to run this thing back next year. You're not going to run this thing back next year. 4 straight first rounds to 3 different teams, 3 different situations. That's a trend. And obviously they have to do something to reverse it. But listen, they're locked into a lot of long-term contracts. No trade clauses. It's not like you can just, hey, I want to go get this guy, get that guy, trade this guy, bring him in, bop, 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 bop. Not that easy. Not that easy. So, yeah, there's got to be something different tonight than what we've seen so far in this series. I go back to that, was it third period of Game 4 and the overtime, or third period of, yeah. And we played with determination. I don't think they had a shot in overtime. It was just absolute domination. And that's where this team needs to be. They got to get back to that. Their number of hits and physicality has kind of dwindled as the series has gone on. I don't know if that's by design to start getting back to a more flowing game and stop concentrating so much on inflicting punishment. I don't know which way. At times it feels like that's the way they've played better. They've kind of morphed into that team, but they're not getting secondary scoring, which is hurting them. And clearly the Bolduc, Datch, and Texier line have been difference makers. They've got 6 goals with them on the ice, 5 they've scored. Hudson's goal was also, and Greg Linnelli and Mish were talking about this yesterday. We'll talk to him about this when he comes up at 10:45 as well, that bottom, 6 scoring needs to improve. We got one the other day from Dominic James, but there needs to be more.
So we'll see. Listen, this is a very proud franchise, and I think we're going to see their best tonight. And yeah, it's got to be better. And I think maybe it's some leadership in the room. I don't know, but hopefully we can get back to those championship level performances where the unacceptable things don't happen. So we shall see. All right, before I move on, a couple other things. JS813 says Stamkos is dead to me, dead to us.
Why? What did he do to you?
I don't know. I think there's some, there's a little sour grapes there, I think, for fans and Stammer, but that'll be ancient history. Yeah.
But why?
I don't know. It's
he didn't choose to leave.
Said, yeah. And I'm not talking about, obviously, we got to bring Stamkos back. That's not what I'm talking about. I said that quite clearly. It's, are we missing some leadership in the room? And that's where I think the special sauce is at times in the playoffs. So just my thought. You guys, I'll get your thoughts here as well. Let's see. Alejandro, good morning to you, JP and Timmy. Well, we'll say let's see the Lightning hopefully push for Game 7 tonight. I want to say I think Connor McDavid's time at Edmonton is done, and we trade for him, then extend. I think there's a lot of Lightning people that are talking about that, to be quite honest.
You know who else is talking about that? Everyone on every other team in the NHL.
Yeah, that's true too. But he said some special things about the Lightning and John Cooper.
Did.
So said the media was saying that it's more likely McDavid's last game with the Oilers. If the Lightning want to fix our playoff problem, go get McDavid by trading for him with picks and give him an extension. Well, it's not just going to be that picks. You're going to have to come up with some incredible players. Could Kucherov be part of that deal? That discussion is not for now, but maybe next week. You gonna
trade Vasilevsky for Connor McDavid?
Ooh, not without having some type of better answer. I think the Lightning have some goalies in the pipeline, but they're years away. Yeah, I would not. I don't think I would do that.
Because that's the kind of trade it's going to take.
Yeah. Alejandro says the Lightning contracts coming up are vital to this team, with Kuch and Vasi contracts ending in 26 and 27, and what need extensions. Need to give both 8-year extensions with $90 million each to stay. Well, and that's the thing. This will be what the JBB, or we'll see what changes are coming. There's an ownership change coming as well. I'm not advocating for anything, and I don't have the answers. I'm not here to be that guy. Will there be changes? I would think so. I think after 4 first-round flameouts, if that happens, yeah. I don't think the way hockey works, that's usually the way it works. Yeah. JSA13 says big weekend at Tampa Bay Central Florida sports. Lightning and Magic need wins. Rays need to keep things rolling. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Magic still have a chance to for a historic takedown of Detroit. 1 versus 8 there. So
they can't let that slip away. They're on the verge of letting that opportunity slip away too. They can't do that.
Alejandro says, why I love Braden Point, Victor Hedman. We all do. I would be willing to trade them to the Oilers for Connor McDavid. The trade, Lightning received McDavid. Oilers received Point, Hedman, 3 first-round picks.
Man, that's a lot.
With all due respect, Alejandro, to both Victor Hedman and Braden Point, there's not a team in this league that are taking those contracts based on the way they've played this year.
No.
Not a team. So, and certainly not for Connor McDavid. That is a pipe dream. Now, 50 goal scoring Braden Point? Oh, yeah. Now we can start a conversation, but that's not what we've seen this year. Obviously, injuries are part of that. Can he return to that form? I hope so. We all hope so. I don't know if he's injured right now, but it's certainly what he's putting on the ice now is not what we've seen previously, especially in the playoffs, where that dude has taken over. And again, I'm not trying to be negative or rip these guys, but I can't sit here and tell you, oh, Braden Point's played great. I can't do that. It's just not there. Neither has Suzuki or Caulfield, by the way. We've shut them down. but their bottom six is they're doing things. Danny Boy says, good morning, gentlemen. By the way, did you see the viral video of the Trop that Fox 13 put out yesterday on the morning regarding the safety of the Trop? Yes, I did. I did see this. Everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert. So somebody walked up to these pylons. Maybe we'll show the video later. They're pillars that come down, and they kicked them, and like they were loose. They weren't even attached to the ground. And you can see it are the actual pillars that hold the building up. These are not pillars that hold the building up.
These are not load bearing.
Oh. They're part of an expanding seating set that when they do different different sections and they have different games. God, I can't find my words today. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't had my coffee this morning. Configurations is the word I was looking for. Different configurations. They roll these bleachers out. And so they're not load-bearing parts of the stadium. They're parts of a stadium, of the stands that roll out. And they don't have to be solid. They're just being stored there in that way. So don't worry, folks. Listen.
Everyone's a structural engineer, JP.
I don't want to sit here and defend the Trop, but it kind of feels analogous to this whole stadium thing. It's like we see these things, they're like, oh my God, the tennis courts. Oh, what are we going to do? Portable for the children, for HCC while they get a new campus. Oh my God, what are we going to do? How could we possibly move on? Parking. We'll never figure out parking. We got 400 acres in that area, but we're never going to figure out the parking. Oh, my God. Calm down. It's just a part of the building that we never use, and it won't be used. So stop kicking it. Leave it alone. The way the Trop is not going to – it might. I don't know. There might be some other structural issues. But, the absolute – craziness that ensued from this when it's just a simple answer. Like, no. And for God's sakes, before we do the story, can we get the answer first and stop?
That's part of the story, right? That should be part of the story is the answer. That should be part of it.
Well, first of all, you call the Rays, you get a response, and they say, oh, yeah, and you go, oh, it's not a story.
Now it's no longer a story.
It's not a story anymore. Well, I guess it is because somebody put it up on social media, so you have to tell everybody it's okay. Yeah. I guess in that part, that's good journalism. But for the most part, the hysteria, like, and as soon as I saw it, it was like, no, it's not a way. I could even, I mean, I'm not an engineer. My dad was, but I could see in the video, like, yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's not a load-bearing pillar. I'm pretty sure it's not that. I'm no engineer, but good God. So, yeah, we're all safe. You can go to the Trop this weekend. Get your little replica Trop, which will have the little pillars in there that you can kick if you want, I'm sure.
I saw those the ones that they light up, right? The roof lights up?
Yeah.
What are those? What's the point of that?
I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. Rick says Hedman will play tonight. Block a game-tying goal and win in OT. Also, Stu will help build a new stadium, and my ex-wife will pay all that money back in alimony.
Wow.
They're toast. Yeah. The Victor Hedman is not going to save them tonight, unfortunately. I don't see that happening. And if he plays tonight, that will be analogous to the Bucs signing JPP. A desperate attempt to get some juice or something, and I'm doubtful it will. I don't think the Lightning will do that. All right, we're not going to do that right now. I'm looking for Lightning comments. Thomas Casper says the Lightning will rally. Montreal have not won a cup since the Lightning played at Tropicana Field. Well, there you go. There's some perspective. Well, unfortunately, Thomas, that has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on tonight. Has absolutely zero to do, except the fact that there's two parts to this. It's going to be so hyped there that maybe these young players finally show their age and lack of experience and put a stinker out there. That's entirely possible. We've seen that many, many times. And I think that may be some residue of why Montreal hasn't won squat since the Lightning played at Tropicana Field, is the pressure to win up there is just ridiculous. And maybe in a moment like this, it can fuel them or it can flame them. So we'll see what happens tonight. And let's hope they finally put a stinker out there. That could happen. And then we could come back home here and hopefully get a series win. I love
Montreal's playing like an inexperienced team who doesn't know that they're supposed to play like an inexperienced team. Like they should be afraid of the Lightning, but they don't know they're supposed to be afraid of the Lightning.
Yeah, they're not. And I don't know if that's,
is that Martin St. Louis?
Could be.
Is John Cooper getting out coached in this series? I mean, I never would have seen that coming.
I don't know. Marty,
go that far.
And we'll talk to Greg Linnelli about this in a few minutes. Marty's made some interesting moves. So a timeout, certainly in game one, was a stroke of genius. I'll give him that one for sure. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. I want to get into the Rays baseball. Yes, there were some questions from the Hillsborough County to the Rays that need to be answered. So we'll get into that a little bit. We got some comments on that. Do a little Bucs talk, some college football talk as well as we go through the day. Pitch Roofing is the folks that will come out to your house for free. Take a look at that old roof of yours and say, you got 2-3 years left on this, or you needed to get it done now. They'll walk you through the whole process. And if you mention the JP Peterson Show that you love and enjoy and they support, they will give you a special JP discount. How about that? Get the JP discount. Go to pitchroofing.com. You can set up an appointment online. You can call them, do whatever you like. All I know is they are good people. They are trusted. They are bonded. They are insured. They will stand behind their warranty. You have my word on it. Good people over there. Pitchroofing.com. Even if you don't need a roof, call them up. Have them come on out. They're nice folks. Get them a cup of coffee. Sit down and chat with them. They'll tell you all about your roof. Pitchroofing.com. Back at 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big, and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back on this Friday. Game day, Game 6 coming up in Montreal tonight. Lightning facing elimination. We've been here before. They can handle this, but cannot wait for the excitement. Oh, I will be on edge tonight. No question about it. And a big thanks to our great folks at Riveters. They are the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, in my opinion. And one of the reasons is all the food is fresh. It is not just a place where they heck a bunch of frozen food, throw it in the microwave like a lot of sports bars do. No, we're not doing that here. Everything is handmade. The sauces are handmade. The wings are absolutely phenomenal. All the sauces are handmade. The blue cheese, the ranch, everything makes a difference, folks. If you haven't been to Riveters, go check it out. The prices are great. The staff is amazing, absolutely amazing. That's a big part of it over there. They run a great restaurant. So if you're looking to watch the Lightning game tonight with friends and watch the Rays game as well, why not head on over to Riveters? Just north of 275, just south of the stadium, right there on Dale Mabry.
That's going to be my second stop, JP, when I get to Tampa. It's going to be my second stop.
What's the first?
Spaceship.
Oh. And you don't even
right
have to move
door.
your car.
Yeah, it's right next door.
It's a fantastic thing. I know, because you are a space enthusiast. I know you'll be visiting the Kennedy Center because you love all things NASA, space. I know. Yeah.
All the space flight, and there's a spaceship. I got to go visit it, right?
Yeah. Special uniforms you can wear in there too. I've heard. All right, with that intro, let's bring in my co-host on the postgame show, the great Greg Linnelli from the Lightning Audio Network. What's up, Greg? How are you, partner?
Boys, how we doing?
We're always
Off to a roaring start.
So I went to my closet this morning, Greg, and this thing was staring me in the eye.
Ooh. Look at that, sharp looking.
Yeah, it's got the C.
Do you want Stammer to come back? Is that what we're hoping for here, or what?
No, I want the ghost of Stammer leadership.
Yeah.
to
He's
come
not
back.
dead. I told you he's not dead.
His leadership, though, is
Just his career.
it's not here anymore. I'm kind of thinking that these are the games where and Torts used to say this all the time, and I talk about it all the time. Leadership, all that has to come from the room.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be a championship team, it has to come from the room. Andrew Chuck was that guy that came in and just added that extra part in 2004 to help us lift the cup. And I think Stamkos's leadership through that time was absolutely phenomenal. And in so many ways, because, he grew up with Kucherov and Vasilevsky and all these guys. The gravitas that he held and all that there was a magic to that whole team. And Stamkos seemed to kind of be that guy. I'm not saying they don't have it anymore. The results would suggest they don't. But I think Hagel has kind of become that guy. And we saw that in Game 4. And I'm thinking that's the kind of magic that they need. Guys in the room to kind of summon that determination and play the way they did in overtime the other night. And I think that's what's needed tonight. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, leadership is weird.
It's hard to put a finger on, I know.
Following sports as much as you have, as much as I have, I mean, a lot of times it comes down to, are you more talented than the other team? I mean, in certain instances, I do think in an evenly played series, you can have, how I would look at leadership is somebody takes over a game.
Yep.
And says, okay, this is done, and we're going to figure it out. So tonight, who would that be? I think we're looking at guys like Kucherov, probably Hagel, continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice at Braden Point.
Yes.
Got that going. We talked about this.
We've seen him take over playoff games, have we not?
We have, we have. And, I think probably a game where Vasi's just says nothing is getting through.
Yep.
Nothing is getting through. So that's how I would look at it. I do think an interesting question will be, and let's hope we don't have to talk about it, but if they were to lose another first-round matchup here, does Julian take everything into consideration and say, all right, we need to do some structural changes to this team? Because that would be 4 straight first-round losses. And the standard is a championship here, and you haven't gotten that. So we'll probably find out that answer if they lose, probably where the organization is headed on that. But I think in terms of leadership for this game, for this series, your best players probably have to have that moment.
Yeah, that's kind of my point, and I think you kind of clarified it. It's not just in the room between periods or before the game; it's on the ice, obviously.
Yeah,
and that's where you step up. And we've seen these guys do it before, and it's a fleeting thing. We as fans and even analysts that cover the team, we watch every game, we watch every shift, and we've seen what these guys are capable of. And when it doesn't happen, we scratch our heads. So I'm scratching my head. What would you, and we've talked about this on the post-game show, but as you sit here at Game 6, what would you say have been the key points that have made Montreal win these razor-thin games? Because they've all been razor-thin close.
Yeah, I think collectively the way they've defended well. I mean, I don't know if the Lightning have gotten to their game completely for most of a game. I think portions of it they have.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, without getting into the X's and O's, because that might be more for the Brian Engbloms, but I would just say I think it's been hard to generate as much offense as we're used to seeing from the Lightning. Understanding the defense comes with that part of the game where it's going to be impactful. And then I know there have been people who have said, the bottom 6 hasn't produced as much. That's fine. I think two guys, JP, we had talked about on the post-game show and throughout the year that we were maybe hoping for a reset come playoff time because the regular season was not what they wanted, was Paul and Bjorkstrand. Yeah, and I think those two guys probably were going to be counted on to provide that depth scoring, or at least had the ability to do. Yeah, I mean, these are former 20-goal scorers. We just haven't seen it. So I don't know if that's going to change. Bjorkstrand had some looks last game, great, but look, are we giving bonus points? Yeah, we're not giving points for guys who are close, at this point. So that part I think has been. So you asked me a couple of questions there. I think one, the way Montreal's defended. Yeah. And then I would say two, the depth scoring has really dried up. I didn't anticipate that happening.
And their depth scoring, you guys were talking about this yesterday on Lightning Lunch with Boduk and Texier and Dax, who's had a couple of big goals.
Yeah.
Texier's goal, monstrous. But those guys have stepped up for them.
Yeah.
So I give them credit. And Marty, we had a question about, is Marty out coaching Coop? And I'm like, I don't think we're going to go there, but he's been impressive. You know, the timeout in game 1.
Yeah.
You know, when it works out, you look like a genius. But that was a really interesting move, rarely done, but worked to perfection. Gave his number one guys a chance to stay on the ice, and they score.
And he also
made a couple line changes too.
Gallagher last game.
Uh-huh.
You know, that might have been another one. You know, he comes in, scores that first goal for Montreal, and I'm sure that raised the level of excitement on that bench because he's a veteran guy who's nearing the end of his career, and the fact that he had to sit for a few games, I'm sure, didn't sit well with him. So, yeah, I mean, look, Marty's done a really good job. Again, coaching, it's hard in hockey because you feel like things happen so quickly. I think line changes, that would be part of it. How quickly are you getting off the ice? I know that was on the Texier goal. It was a late change, and a defenseman was late getting to him, even though that was a shot we felt like probably Bassey should have had.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You know, it's the Lightning tonight. I felt good last game that somehow they were going to pull this out, just because I did feel like, you know what, they're finding some ways here, and home ice is now back in their court. They're not going to let this slip. Now it's going to be tough. You got to win 2 games in a row against the Montreal team. Tonight will be interesting. I think if you can get not just a 1-goal lead, I'd like to see a multi-goal lead.
Oh, Lord.
On Montreal. Let them just feel a little pressure, right? Let them feel a little pressure. I mean, we just haven't
possible?
seen that. I think anything's possible, but, you know, we haven't seen that. So I'd like to, you know, if you're going to lose, put some pressure on Montreal.
Yeah.
Let them feel it, you know.
In their own building with those crazy people. That can work both ways, right?
It can. Like, I think the Lightning should be able to feed off of that energy in a very positive way. Montreal maybe feels the same way. Who knows? But also use that energy to your advantage. Yeah. Get a goal. Get 2. You know?
In the first period. Take a lead.
And,
take a lead to the first intermission for the first time in 22 games.
And maybe somebody else other than Brandon Hagel. By the way, that's that you just said. I mean, that's incredible.
That's insane.
You know, the other thing, too, is we're probably going to look back on this again if they do, and we don't want them to do, if they do. Players wanted this Olympic break. Right?
Oh, my Lord. I mentioned that in the first segment, like, holy hell.
It's going to end up impacting the Lightning. Because they've played better in the postseason than they did when they came back from the Winter Olympic break. But boy, did that have you can't deny it. It did have an impact on them.
Oh my God! From 21-1 to just below
whatever
average.
They were. Yeah, whatever they were. You know. So, but are the players going to be upset about that? Probably not, because they want the Olympics.
Yeah.
So you know you reap what you sow to a degree, but that is something interesting to kind of look back on and say, condensed schedule, you took a break, you had a lot of momentum. Would you have done it over again with the same option, or is this just like, look, Olympics happen, you got to take the good and the bad when that happens when you come back? Who knows?
Greg Gonelli joining us here. He is the game day host for Tampa Bay Lightning Radio Network, and our post game. He is the point man that dishes it all out for the craziness that happens in the post game each and every game, which you guys you should listen to after the game.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be listening?
Yeah, exactly. So as we go into tonight, is there any changes that Coop can make? He is the master at changing lines, getting a spark, finding something. Is there anything you expect tonight for him to do? Anybody coming on that may not have played? I don't think Victor Hedman is the answer, and I don't think they should put him.
You think
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think it would be good for Victor. You know, this isn't even regular season speed. We're talking about 120 miles an hour. Everybody's going, and he hasn't played in a long time.
Leadership. Get him in there. Did he take the ice for 5 minutes?
He can do the pregame speech. I think it would be unfair to him, and I
Yeah.
don't think it would work too well.
Yeah.
Even though he's been skating with the team, I get that, but playoff, and he knows it better than anybody else. The playoff intensity is just a different level. It just from a physical standpoint, it's hard to get there. It would take some time. Game 6 on the road is probably not the spot to be.
I do wonder if the Stu can play. Would they
Yeah,
go 11?
now that I think is a big deal because he's giving you some really, really good minutes.
He can. I don't know if I'd take Crozier out, and I'd probably have the extra defenseman there to protect if the Stu, for whatever reason, has to leave early. The other thing, too, is, JP, maybe do you look at the last 2 games of the series, and are you like, you know what, let's go 11-7. We're riding our big guys.
Yeah.
We're just going to, Cooch, you're going out there every few shifts. You're going to play maybe 23 to 25.
And that 12 forward isn't
just
exactly lighting it on fire anyway.
Yeah, so maybe that's
Whoever it is.
and the reason maybe that has a little bit more gravitas would be we've seen John Cooper go 11-7. So while maybe maybe it's not such a big tactical change, maybe we go 11-7 tonight. Maybe the Stu goes in, and then maybe you go to Hagel, Gensel, Cooch, Pointer, Sorelli, and you say, look, you guys are going to be playing a lot, so go out and get it. Because you're right, like the bottom 6 hasn't really done a heck of a lot, so you might as well just say at this point for this series, ride the horses.
And Destu, listen, he's one of your better players. You know, I don't whether he just is. He's one of your better players. He's made a difference this year, and there's no question about that. And maybe he can provide a little bit of something that you're missing. I don't know, but I think this team has probably played a lot of its best hockey at 11-7. So maybe you do that.
What do you think? Yeah, I would agree
with it.
I would go with it. Maybe that's, outside of that, what are we really hoping for? I mean, you could throw Geeky back into the lineup. Maybe he looked okay last game. That's fine, but I don't think that's going to make an impactful change. You're, hoping Bjorkstrand and Paul, let's hope he comes back tonight. Maybe they're able to give you a goal or two. But, I mean, honestly, we have to deal with reality. Yep. And so far this series, it's been the big boys. Mm-hmm. So lean on them more and go 11-7.
I'm going to predict that Dominic James gets another goal tonight.
That'd be good.
Yeah. DJ has been really good. And I am excited about his future with the Lightning. No question about it. Yeah. And just the way his speed has been noticeable for the Lightning. Would you agree?
But it's a game changer. I think noticeable is a great way to put it. He's got a lot of juice when he's humming. And maybe he's a guy if you do go 11-7 tonight, maybe you give him a few shifts with some of the big boys too. And say, go ahead. Gonsalves, I think, and James have been good at times together. But I think tonight and then on Sunday, you're doing what you can do to win. Don't worry too much about, I like this guy with him.
Just go get it. All right. Any other closing thoughts on tonight, you think?
No, I think, you talked about the leadership aspect of things, and I've got to think, hey, no more losing in the first round would be something internally, externally I'd be talking about. Let's get it done and let's bring it back home. From there, let's see what happens. And 2-goal lead. Get a 2-goal lead.
Yes, please.
And then from there, and if it doesn't happen, then you and I can come back on this show and we can talk about, okay, hasn't worked out, what needs to be done. But let's get a win tonight, get a 2-goal lead, make Montreal uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and then let's see what happens on Sunday, right?
I love it. All right, Greg, great stuff, my friend. Lightning Lunch is a must listen to. Right when we're done with this show, you can go listen to that one each and every day from 12 to 1. So there you go. It's great stuff.
Great job, JP.
Thank you, man.
We'll
Appreciate
talk soon.
it.
You got it, buddy.
Go Bolts.
Thanks, sir.
All right. We're just we're right there. I hate to. I know I probably sound a little Debbie Downer, but we're right there. I mean, these games have been close. It's just the Lightning have not played their game. To Greg's point, they've gotten to their game, at moments, but they haven't been able to sustain it with any momentum at all. And all good credit to Montreal for that. Yeah, but you got to force your will on the other team.
That's what Montreal's doing right now.
Yeah,
to the Lightning. You want an uncomfortable prediction from me tonight? For tonight,
sure.
JP? Suzuki hat trick. Doesn't mean Lightning lose. I'm not saying the Lightning are losing. I'm saying Suzuki hat trick.
Is there a expedition in the Great White North to go find him, to bring him back to the series? Because
that's what I'm saying. I know he's been MIA.
He's been up in
series.
Saskatchewan or some shit and doing some ice fishing.
He's been in Saskatoon, don't you know?
Yeah, he's been up there with the Newfies, probably doing some ice fishing because he ain't been playing any hockey. All right.
He's going to break out game for Suzuki, but it might not be enough. I'm just saying.
I'm going to go Hagel hat trick. How about that? I'll see you. I'll see your Suzuki hat trick and go Hagel hat trick. How about that?
All right.
How about that?
How crazy would that be to have opposing hat tricks?
God, can you imagine the Willis Reed moment if Hedman comes out there on the ice?
He's not.
I don't think he is. And I don't think it would be a good idea. I do not think it would be a good idea. Even as much experience as he had, there's just no physical way to get up to speed that quickly in an elimination game. You just, where one mistake can cost you the series. No.
And everybody cites the Willis Reed moment. That's just become a pop culture thing now and a sports thing. What nobody remembers is that Willis Reed came in and went like 1 for 15 from the field and then left the game.
He made his first shot, though, I think, right? Didn't he?
He did. He made his first shot, and then that was it.
Yeah. But it was just it's his presence, his leadership, the ghost of Willis Reed.
Now you want to talk about the Jordan flu game. Now we got something.
The sniffle game?
The Jordan fluke? Yeah, the
Sniffles
playoff game. What, against the Cavaliers, right? When he scored
when he had
50?
the sniffles?
Oh, he probably had AIDS or something that game. I don't know what he had.
Allegedly.
He got rid. I said maybe. I mean, clearly it went away. Kind of like Magic Johnson's.
Oh, I guess. Buckin 220 says the puck luck in this series has to flip at some point, right?
You would think.
Have we gotten any puck luck? Not much. We've had a lot of posts, a lot of whiffs and opportunities. Yeah. It's also it's just like the hockey gods gave us such a run and then they're just like going to punish us. But it's got to flip at some point. Tonight would be a good time.
Man, I think in the playoffs you create your own puck luck.
That's what they say. And I think that's true. It's just hard work, the residue gets you great results normally. And sometimes, if Kucherov buries that puck at the beginning of the third and we take a 3-2 lead, it doesn't lead to a slow change and Texier goal. So, yeah, I mean, obviously ifs and buts, candies and nuts, but that's a big moment. Radish hits the post. Bjorkstrand hits the post. They've hit posts too. Don't get me wrong. So but if I'm thinking about the first goal, Gallagher's goal comes off the boards right in front of the net. Now, the fact that there were 4 Canadian players there is probably the bigger reason it ended up in the net and the Lightning couldn't clear it. That's the more reasonable part of it. But yeah, they got a bounce there. But then they finished it. And we have not, to me, that's the magic. I said this yesterday. The magic that has been gone from this team is they can't finish. Suddenly they're great players, can't finish. They're getting opportunities. They're just not finishing. And I don't think, Dobesh has made some great saves, but I don't think, he's certainly not stealing the series standing on his head. I don't see that. So sometimes it just comes down to burying the puck when you get your opportunities. And the Lightning best players have not done that. They've not done that. All right, we got a $10 super chat here. Ooh. Let's pop that up. There we go. From Alex Nunn, thank you, partner. Said bold prediction, Bolts win tonight, Rays sweep this weekend, and we become Tampa Bay again. Great work all week, JP. Thank you, Alex. Boy, from your lips to God's ears, buddy. Let's go. We need to get on a roll here. It's a big weekend, no doubt. And I want to the Bucs started gave us a little good juice with the draft, right? Now the Lightning if they can come back in this series, I really think I think they can make a run. And they're again, if they could just start finishing these chances, that changes everything. And that's typically what they've done most of their careers. Dave Terry says Hagel scored a goal with his chest and the only puck luck I can think about. But that wasn't puck luck. That was Cooch shooting it off his chest because he didn't have an angle. That was the end. Right? That's what happened?
Yeah, those deflections aren't always a mistake.
That's
or
right.
An accident.
He didn't hit his stick. He just hit his chest.
Last night, the Wild scored the game-winning goal against the Stars late in the third by a defenseman literally throwing the puck at the net, bouncing it off a Stars defenseman's skate.
Yeah.
And
that happens a lot.
That's your series winner right there.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Unless it happens to your team, then you're like, oh, yeah, he meant to do that.
All right, one more here, a quick one. Great career for Keith Cate at WFLA, retiring next month after 44 years. Keith Cate's been there so long, he was my co-anchor when I was there at Channel 8. Wow. Yeah, that's how long he's been there. And he still looks the same. I saw him the other day. I was over at Channel 8 for a meeting, and I saw him, and I said, damn, bro, I haven't been back in this building in 20 years or 15 years, whatever the hell it is, and you don't look like you've aged a bit. And he doesn't. He just and what a great guy. What a fantastic guy. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet in television. Keith Cate has done a great job at WFLA, taking over for a legend in Bob Height, and done a fantastic job slipping right into those big old shoes. And what a fantastic job Keith Cate does. So congratulations, my friend, my former co-anchor. Hell of a career. They wrote a very eloquent piece yesterday on Facebook and talked about going back to Tennessee and the farm that he grew up on, and said it's time to get back to the farm, and what a different place and a different speed of life. I'm very jealous, Keith. So congratulations on an awesome career. We wish you all the best and enjoy your retirement, my friend. Great stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. I want to get into these Rays questions that have been brought up by the Hillsborough County Commission. Very good questions that do need to be answered, so we will get into that. We're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source, and Mother's Day is coming up, folks. We got a good gift card match. We'll tell you all about it. We'll hit the break, come back on the other side, and we'll talk a little Rays baseball. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Our Mother's Day selection is out right now, so you can head on over there to the Gold and Diamond Source and get something for Mom. They have the best selection, special stuff, special collection just for Mother's Day. 0% financing for up to 5 years, so you can finance $5,000 and it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond, and remember, she may not be your mom, but she's the mom of your kids. So make sure you do something special for all the moms that are out there for Mother's Day, and then no better place to go than the Gold and Diamond Source. 3800 Almerton Road, right over there in Clearwater, about 15, 20 minutes from downtown Tampa, just over the bridge. All right. So a little stadium news here. The Rays have basically what we're talking about here, folks, is there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. We're far along in the process, and I feel like I've spoken for a long time. The framework is there for a deal, and now it's getting down to the specifics, and the specifics really matter, especially when it comes to spending this much money. And it centers around 6 questions that the Hillsborough County folks have asked of the Rays and need to be answered, I think, with a little bit more specificity is what the county is looking for. Now, overall, they're looking to get a memo of understanding voted on this week coming up. There's a city commission meeting on May 5th where we're asking all of you to dress up in your Rays stuff and come on out. That'll be next Tuesday. So we'll kind of set a spot if you all want to meet somewhere, and we can gather outside the convention center, and we'll talk about that and get all. I know Alejandro has a great manifesto that he has written, absolutely wonderful, that he wants to speak, and you will be allowed to speak. This might go very, very long, but more than anything, we just need a great show of fans to be loud, to be omnipresent, and to make sure that these commissioners know that this is something that the majority of the people want. It's time for the silent minority, or the loud minority, to go silent. And it's time for us, the majority that hasn't really been as omnipresent on maybe on social media to speak up and be heard and be seen. And I think the vote may be delayed. I don't know if that's been determined just yet, but these are the questions that the county is asking. Number one, how was the stadium budget determined? The Rays have said it's going to cost $2.3 billion, 31,000 seats. It's going to have a kind of a shell translucent roof. They've said that these numbers are based on market pricing, consultant input, contractor estimates. This is from the TBT article. And feedback citing the cost of the Kansas City Royals stadium. The Rays say their budget is in line with the other comparable projects. And if you look at the Royal Stadium, you look at the A's Stadium, it is very similar. It's just the cost of construction has gone way, way up. And a lot of people point towards the St. Pete project at $1.3 billion. They were never going to build that stadium, folks. And there was never really any design to that. The memo of understanding that they were going to build on that was about the same amount of information that the Hillsborough County is working with now. So the Rays basically want to say, look, we'll handle the design of it, but we're basing our cost off this. And I think the county wants more specific numbers, like how much is the roof going to cost? Where does this money going to be spent on? Is it going to be spent on lavish offices for executives within the stadium? Because if that's what, it is, then maybe public portion shouldn't be going towards that. And it's kind of weird because if the total cost is 2.3, right? And you're putting in 1.3, the public's putting in 1, it's like, okay, who pays for the field? Who pays for this? Who pays for that? And so it can get very, very detailed. And that's not what this upcoming vote is about. You just want the funding in place, and then you got to go towards the details, where I think the county wants more details. So they're going to have to find a way to figure that out. And within the time constraints that, given that the Rays are putting on this, then that they want to have it done by 2029, but it's not just because they want it. It's because the state funding is in place. A lot of the elected officials are in place to get this deal done now, and that's what they want to do. That doesn't mean necessarily that they're trying to shove a bad deal through. It just means that it's important to get it done now with the situation, because if the situation changes dramatically, either politically or you lose the funding from the state and you have to go back next year, there's more work involved in that, more people, there's going to be a new governor. So these are all things that could kill this project. And if you're a Rays fan, again, it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean you're trying to shove something through. It just means that's the timing. And the conditions are right now to get this done. So let's get it done. And I'm for that. With a caveat that some of these questions need to be answered with more specificity. They had a big discussions yesterday at the TSA meetings about this, and Eric Hart spoke about it and just said, maybe this memo of understanding should be non-binding. And if that can continue, if we can get the state funding passed with a non-binding MOU, then I think that's something we should do to move forward, and they can work out these other things as the details go on. But still stay on a timeline to get it done by 2029. They asked, what are the private funding sources for the Rays portion of the stadium construction? Describe the plan to obtain additional private funding if the total private and public funding is not sufficient to cover all necessary construction costs of the stadium. So what's going on here is, even though the Rays have said we'll pay for all cost overruns, what the county wants to say is that's great. Where are you getting that money? We'd like to know what the source of that money is. Because if they don't come up with it and you've got kind of a half-baked deal and you're kind of running out of money, who is eventually going to have to pick up the tab? Well, the city and the county aren't going to leave like half a shell of a stadium. They're going to have to pick it up. Now, this is obviously something that, would absolutely not come to fruition. If the Rays ownership has its way, obviously they want everything to go smooth. They want the whole build out to go. But there are other geopolitical things that can come up that are beyond their power, right? So basically what the county is saying, we need some assurances that you have the money before we're going to start forking out all this upfront money. And that's fair. And it's not like they have to, here, let me show you a pile of cash. They just have to see kind of where it's coming from. And that's fair too. And I think the Rays probably need to They know where it's coming from, and maybe they don't want to be as specific as the county is, but they can get to a feeling of where they feel good enough that it's going to be a good enough guarantee assertion that they're going to have the money. So I think, again, this is something that the Rays probably need to answer with more specificity. Number 3, describe how the Rays determining the percentage of public funds that will go towards specific areas and or amenities in the stadium and the surrounding grounds. So again, what are we paying for? What are you paying for? They want that delineated more specifically. What is the minimum valuation of completed mixed-use development and the Rays and or their development partners will agree to guarantee? The Rays have said they'll do $8 billion into a taxable mixed-use development surrounding the stadium. The county wants to know, when's it going to be built? When can we expect that tax money to be coming back to the residents in forms of those property taxes? What is the timeline? Again, that's important. Number 5, describe the Rays' plan to pay annual rent for the stadium. In a draft memorandum, the understanding released earlier this month that the team proposed $10 annual rent payments in recognition of its significant and ongoing contributions and investment to the new stadium project. Basically saying, hey, look, we're putting in $8 billion. We're paying for 58% of the stadium moving forward. So we don't think rent is something that is we should be paying, because we're paying for a lot of this. We're paying for more than half of it. If you owned more than half of a house and you put in more than half, would you want to pay rent to the people who owned less? That seems a little weird, right? Now, especially when there's tax money coming back to the city and county, $2.8 billion. So that's basically could be your rent. And I also believe there's an 8% ticket surcharge that's going to go back to the city and the county in terms of a sales tax or some type of tax. And then there's what's the plan for the Rays to provide parking for ball games and special events. So there's parking that needs to be worked out. You know, who's going to build the parking garages? Are they going to build parking garages? So again, these are all very important questions that need to be asked and answered. And I think the Rays are just lacking in some specificity here as to, and give them probably the most flexibility moving forward. That's what they want. And the county wants more assurances. So again, it's all part of the negotiations that needs to be worked out. There's nothing in that tells me that they can't get a deal done. Alan Clendenin is on the TSA. I think he's the finance director, if I'm not mistaken, said, look, we're 80% there. We just need some more answers on these questions so we can, vote in good confidence that all this is going to get done like you say it's going to get done. And I think that's totally fair. So once again, to me, all of this is part of the process. What we have to do as fans is show up at the meeting, be loud. If you want to say something, have something prepared. I highly recommend that. The more people talking in favor of this, the better. And I still think we're in a really, really good position. As I said 2 months ago, this is the part where it gets ugly and nasty. It's going to be a lot of detractors, especially from the political grandstanders like Wostall, but he's only one vote. And I think they have the votes to get this done. But again, I think they've got to provide some answers to these questions. And I think they will. I don't think that none of this is beyond the pale. It's just part of the process. So let's get her done.
Get her done.
Let's get her done.
JP, Mike H seems to think that the plan all along was for the Rays to go to Orlando, and this is just part of the plan. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. JP, they're going to Orlando.
We love you, Mike H. We do, but that makes absolutely zero sense. If that's what MLB wanted, why wouldn't they have just gave the Orlando group the team from the beginning? I don't understand why everybody thinks this Orlando thing is like, oh, that's a done deal. They got the park. It's like the park is already built. Most of them, I'll say it again, and this came from somebody within the Orlando Dreamers. They said the issues that we have are most of our money is committed to Camping World Stadium. I believe that's $400 million. And then the Orlando Convention Center, where they do a ton of business, obviously, one of the biggest in the world. They're doing a huge refab on that, which I think is like $800 million. So much of their public money is already spoken for They have a lot of it, tourist tax, bed tax, all that stuff. But an MLB, at least in my discussions, does not believe in that as a viable market. I think there are much, much better markets out there. In Nashville, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, much more, that aren't within, even with the Marlins down south, the Rays here. And if the Rays were to move there, it's a no-go. It's not a community that Major League Baseball believes in. They don't believe that they can turn 70 million visitors into baseball fans. And so, and this market has been, this is a good market, and everything has been done poorly in this market for a long, long time, as we've talked about. So if the plan was to go, you think these Rays owners bought this team with the idea of moving it to Orlando? That makes zero sense. They've been committed to Tampa Bay. I know these guys. I've told you this for a long time. It's just silly. It's absolutely silly. They don't have the money over there. Their investors, John Morgan, is gone. Workman is in the Rays current group. So their main investors are gone. The parcel that they want to build on is 40 acres, not big enough for what this group wants to do. The only 100-acre parcel they have in that area, that tourist area, is a traffic nightmare and not doable for a mixed-use project like that. So this whole Orlando thing, you guys say, oh, we got a great sign and we got leadership. You don't have the foundation to get it done. Then you got to come up with go find investors for $2.5 billion for an expansion fee. Or if the Rays are going to move over there, you're going to have to pay another $2 billion for the stadium. Where's the money coming from?
JP, right. Rick's cracking me up. While you were doing stadium talk, I apparently did 3 fireball shots. I wrote 4 NFL articles. I did a Cowboys podcast and posted on Twitter about the Frisco Rough Riders.
You probably did. You probably did.
I'm freaking cracking up over here.
All right. What else do we want to get in here? Mike says, I appreciate your opinion, JP. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It just give me a little bit more meat on the bone there, bro. It just doesn't, I don't see how you connect the dots there. So they did all this work in Tampa, for the stadium here, all this work that Babby's been working 24 hours a day to get it done here. They put it, but this is all fake. This is all fraud. They're just waiting to move to Orlando. Why wouldn't they just have done it? Doesn't make any sense. Sorry. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Daryl Jackson is here. He is going into the Sports Club of Tampa Bay Hall of Fame. One of the great local athletes here, the Seahawks, Florida Gators, Tampa Catholic. Absolutely great dude. Covered him in high school and has had one hell of a career, and now going into our Hall of Fame. So quick break. Back with Daryl Jackson right after this. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowner's insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch, and everything is handmade, and the wings are big, and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. As we are coming to you, we got a full house here. And we're brought to you by the
Dang,
great
I didn't get
folks.
invited to this party. What the hell?
It's okay, Timmy. It's a Tampa Bay party. You're not invited. Speaking to my producer in Dallas, you guys want to put on your headphones, you can hear him as well. Welcome back. Daryl Jackson going into the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame on June 3rd, which I will have the honor to MC once again. Lou Maggio is here, the president of the sports club, but the star of the day, and Rob is our photographer doing all things for our banquet coming up. Daryl, congratulations, first and foremost. Get up on that mic.
Thank you, JP. Thank you, JP.
You had to wear that Florida Gators hat in here just for me. I know you did. But I covered you there. I covered you in high school, and now I'm going to be helping to induct you into the Sports Club Hall of Fame, where you so richly deserve to be as one of the icons of Tampa Bay sports. So congratulations. How you feel about that?
Hey, thank you. Such an honor, such a blessing, the richment of the
a little bit closer.
Tampa
you can bend
Sports
that
Club.
right into you. Yeah.
Grew up watching, fellas go in there all the time, and never thought I'll get a chance to do it, but I guess that's what comes with hard work. So it's just an honor and a blessing to be, inducted in with so many great people.
And Lou, you as the president, me also on that board that voted for Daryl. It was not to give away any secrets there, but it was a no-brainer for the board. Oh, absolutely.
It was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
Kind of Gator heavy. We got Thaddeus Bullard and Steve Spurrier. And, Thaddeus and Daryl, they played together under Spurrier.
I didn't know that. You guys played together?
Yep. Thaddeus Bullard. He came in like a year before me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there.
The great Steve Spurrier.
And you guys won, 4 SEC titles in that run?
Yes, I think so.
You had a couple of big games in the SEC championship game, did you not?
Correct.
What are your thoughts of that old fun and gun?
Well, it's what today's football is right now.
It is, isn't it?
3-4 wide receivers just slinging it around, creating matchups, and throwing the long ball, as the old ball coach like to say.
Now, who are your quarterbacks?
My quarterback was Doug Johnson, Jesse Palmer, Noah Brandeis, and then the young Rex Grossman was
Okay, you had all 4, and I remember
Jesse Palmer, the furniture guy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Bachelor. Yeah, he should stick to the Bachelor and stop doing games.
That's what JP used to be. JP used to be the Bachelor.
Not anymore. Not me.
Okay,
but that was really it changed college football, and it changed the SEC forever, because the SEC was kind of a ground and pound league until Steve Spurrier and you guys got to it, right?
Correct. Well, till Steve Spurrier got to it, I was just, lucky to be involved with it or had a chance to, play in it. But he changed the 90s. He changed the college football period, and I think it's what it is today. A lot of people, like I'm up north right now, a lot of people might not know that, but, sports fans and football fans, they definitely know it.
So tell me what you're doing now. You're up in D.C.?
Up in D.C., working for the Boys and Girls Club. Got 3 counties up under me in DMV area. Athletic director, sports athletic director, how you want to label that. Working with the kids and giving them some chances and some opportunities through sports to, enrich their lives and better their lives and, have an outlet. So many things going on that's the distractions in the world today. The sports is way where they can walk between the lines and forget about everything for a couple of hours until they get back to their regular lives. So go ahead.
It's amazing. It's apropos that we're inducting Daryl along with our Lifetime Achievement Award. It's going to be Glenn Permui, who has been such a big part of the Boys and Girls Club for so many years and so well deserving also. So we're excited. And like I said, we're honored to have you on. Got a great class. And Jimmy Giles, you spent so much time with the Giles growing up.
Right.
They're going to be there supporting you. I know Otis Kitchens is going to be there. And all your old Tampa Catholic cronies are coming out to support you. About being a fellow Crusader, I'm very proud.
Yes, sir. I actually spent a lot of time with Glenn Permute too. He was the guy who got me into AAU basketball. One of the guys who got me into AAU basketball. My first AAU basketball coach. He used to pick me up, take me home to basketball practice, to games and things like that. Him and his young son, Glenn Permute Jr., really good friends and stuff. We played under the Mr. Levy, Spirit of Tampa Bay.
How about that?
West Tampa Boys and Girls Club. So,
full circle, baby.
Big time. Big time. Well, and that's what it's all about. We give money to the Boys and Girls Club and they've been our main benefactor at the club, and you're working. That's your passion and what you do now. And I've said this many, many times on this show, there's no better money we can spend and donate than to give it to our kids to play sports, because
that's what the sports club's all about. We support youth sports and kids that normally can't afford to do this. That's what we do. That's our mission.
Right.
I mean, we're doing the Boys and Girls Club. We're getting involved in buddy baseball. We get involved in the Pete Mulry Foundation as far as reading literacy. It's out there, man. That's what, and like my uncles remember 65 years ago, and I'm honored to be the president. But it's just we're keeping it going, and that's what it's all about. And like I said, thank you so much for coming on board. Actually, we got a surprise guest for you coming outside in a minute, Coach Bob Enriquez, your high school.
Oh yes,
Coach Bob.
Yes, Coach
Bob is a property.
Yes, we write checks to him all the time. That guy must be rich.
I had to call him a couple of times.
And we're not getting a discount either.
No, we are definitely not.
He might not let Bob in here.
We're not going to do politics today, Bob. So we'll let him know that.
Yes, indeed.
So tell me, what is it like? Because you're living what you grew up doing, right? Sports was your outlet. and obviously, and made you who you are today. And now giving back and watching these kids grow, you see the similarities to your journey, I'm sure.
Definitely see the similarities to my journey. Somebody had to help me out and extend me an olive branch to put me and guide me in the right direction, coach me in the right direction, and just trying to do the same thing for the next, what they say, paying it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your remembrances of those Tampa Catholic days? You were a hell of a basketball player. You won a state title in basketball. Did you come close to playing college basketball instead of football?
I actually went to college for dual sports.
For both.
Steve Spurrier, Billy Donovan. I didn't redshirt. When I got there, they basically told me, concentrate on football.
Not a bad idea.
Once they get you in the door, you know how it is.
Yeah,
Tampa Catholic was a great experience for me. So many different coaches of people, being able to talk and relate. Taking an hour drive every morning. Had some time to talk to my best friend now, Jimmy Giles. We also had Greg Griffiths in the car. Traveling. Matter of fact, it was the first time I ever been on an airplane.
Really?
First time I ever been on an airplane. Tampa Catholic, going to New York basketball tournament. First time I ever been on an airplane.
Yeah, and this is why Tampa Bay sports is my passion. Always has been. When I was at Channel 8, we covered you guys at Tampa Catholic. What a great program. You see it at Jesuit, all these great programs. You're building men.
Right.
It's not just about the sports, right? You learn so many different things that aren't about sports.
Right. Competing, I'm glad you brought that up. Jesuit. I have so many friends from Jesuit too.
Yeah.
Competing against them.
Where?
From Jesuit. Our rival.
Are they a local team here?
Yeah.
It's funny. In football, we had to use their home field, their football field, because ours wasn't built yet. And develop some relationships that way. But the Tampa Capital was awesome. Just met a lot of people. It just shaped my life in a direction that I never thought it would be going.
He had a pretty decent career with what's the Seahawks? They're doing pretty well now, aren't
Yeah.
they? I think you caught a pass or two. I think I don't know what did it.
You tied the record for the most receptions made in the first quarter of a Super Bowl with 5. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, they're just gonna feed you.
Yeah.
They're just gonna feed you. What was it like playing in the Super Bowl?
Be honest, to me, it was another day.
Yeah.
It was another day because, anytime you walk between the lines, you get tunnel vision, right? You don't really see the crowd and things like that. So you're so focused on your job. Now looking back at it and having a chance to sit on the porch and smoke a cigar, and look at some old photos and memories of people bringing it on up. You see what an honor and a blessing it was to have that opportunity to, partake in one of the biggest games played.
And your time in Seattle, you were one of the best receivers they've ever had out there. What was that like moving so far from Tampa and going out there and playing? It's like you're moving you play college ball here. It's like Seattle. Where the hell is Seattle? What was that all about?
When I first got drafted, I actually thought I was going to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
They were like, you're going to Washington. I thought it was D.C. But going out there, coming from the beach and coming from, shorts and T-shirts, it was an adjustment period. I'm a Florida boy, going to Pacific Northwest, the rain, the overcast, the mountains.
A little different.
Very different. The air quality,
yeah.
It was great to breathe out there. But it was a good experience. It took me a while to warm up to the beauty and the city and things. Just being a Southern kid, but after a while, it was one of the most beautiful places.
Oh my
in
God,
the United
yes.
States.
Yeah.
And the people are so wonderful. The fans are so wonderful, and that Pacific Northwest is growing in the sports world, as you see.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about. Do you long for Tampa? Living up in D.C., you long for the great weather here? Come on now.
I'm trying so hard to come back home. So hard.
Well, everybody does.
Longest. Yes. I'll be back soon. I got my youngest kids in the 10th grade. Got 3 in college. So.
Great! Congratulations.
Yes, indeed.
They playing ball at all?
One was playing ball. Went to Bethune-Cookman. Ended up going to a D2 in Pennsylvania. He got affected by the COVID. He was 2020 guy. My daughter was an All-American, played for Paul VI. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Her team was played in the Geico National Championship.
Nice.
She kind of walked away. She was, kind of burnt out.
Yeah.
All the AAU at young age. And then I got my middle son's playing I actually moved from wide receiver to playing safety at a D2 college in West Virginia called Shepherd.
Nice.
And then my youngest is emerging to be a handful. He's 6'5", 320.
6'5", 320?
6'5", 320.
Holy moly. And what's he
You got to
playing?
work just to feed him. What the hell are you talking about?
Left tackle. Yeah, that's where you should be playing. Yeah.
He's playing left tackle.
Yeah.
You know, I had to lift weights with him every day so I could keep
Holy
my weight up.
Lord.
He's already staring at me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing the Florida Gators got an eye on him, huh?
Yeah, Florida Gators. He got like 4 or 5 offers right now. He got a Kentucky offer. He has a Cal Berkeley offer. He has a Syracuse offer. He has a Virginia Tech offer. Alabama's on him. University of Washington's on him. A lot of people are on him right now, but he's early. Young buck. He's just still growing.
Yeah,
you know,
real early.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Florida State in there, no.
No.
No chance of that, huh?
Yeah, you know, it's always
He has to change his last name if he goes to Florida State. Daryl always told me no.
That's right. I wouldn't let my kids go to Florida either. So that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. So can you kind of visualize what it's going to be like walking up there, accepting this award from your hometown and all your friends and your supporters? I know it ain't Canton, but it's got to be pretty important to you.
So it's more important than Canton to me.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, I never really dreamed about Canton, to tell you the truth, but I have dreamed about the Tampa Sports Club because it's been in my backyard for so long. And so many people that I've been touched by is included in the introductory into their Hall of Fame. And so I've been watching this pretty closely. When I seen the introductories for this year and stuff like that, it's amazing because I looked at it, Joe Fryalon, me, Jimmy Giles,
people
Mr. Glenn Permew, I watched John with the Tampa Bay Lightning so long, had a chance to talk to him. So the history, the rich of the membership and the people involved and stuff is just special for me. So it's nothing like being able to come home. You can go anywhere
absolutely.
in the world, but as long as you can come home and get that love and stuff, that's what it's all about.
And now you'll be immortalized in our Hall of Fame forever, man. That's pretty damn cool.
Say. I'm just going to try to stay out the way.
No.
I appreciate Mr. Lou and you guys taking the time with me and, inducting me into such a prestigious honor,
So, Lou, tell us a little bit more about the evening that we're going to have.
Well, we have, like I said, it's June 3rd. You need to get your tickets soon. Go to www.sportscluboftambabay.org. We're selling out quickly. Going to have a great evening. We got some great inductees coming, and our host is so well versed in this. Oh,
who's that guy? Who is that guy?
Who is that guy? I mean, not as good looking as the other guy that shares his studio. Oh,
True.
There he is. Big O.
Big O's here too.
Big O. So, but as far as we've got that going on, actually, we also have if you want to get together, we have a happy hour for members and guests on the 13th at the Casa Santa Stefano.
That's right.
Little smoker, little cigars, and a little appetizer, and a little.
Big O will be there.
Cocktail,
Big O will be there. When you mentioned cigars, he'll be there. In Ybor City, he'll be there.
Cigars, you see those ears can't get any higher. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Did I say that? I hate when I do that. We got to get Bob in here too because Bob's waiting outside.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll switch everything up here.
In here.
Yeah.
On our property?
Yes, absolutely. We need the property taxes to go down.
It.
Yeah, we do. All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Daryl, congratulations, my man. Appreciate you. You stick around. We got Big O coming up and Bob Enriquez coming up, so stay with us.
What's up, baby?
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you can trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We got a whole crew in here today. Big O's here. We'll be doing a Big O show here a little bit later on, talking some Braves baseball. But Bob Enriquez is here now. He was the coach at Tampa Catholic for many, many years when Daryl was there. And they're all sharing stories right now about what a bad boy you were, Daryl. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing great, JP.
Get that mic right up on you there.
All right. No, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here with Daryl. And I wasn't going to tell any of those stories, but now that
we open all the doors here. We hold nothing. This is not corporate media. This is independent media. We can say whatever the hell we want here. So have at it. How are you?
I'm doing great. What a blessing to to be here with Daryl. We don't see each other enough, and as I say, I got to pretend to be a great coach when I had guys like him and Kenny Kelly and some of those guys back in the mid '90s. I can't believe 30 years have passed.
I know, right? And you were talking about Kenny and these guys being in Sports Illustrated. Kenny Kelly, who played for the Rays for a minute, fantastic athlete. He went on down to Miami when you were going to Florida, right? So talk about those days.
Well, I'll tell you, the true story is, I was a young coach, 30, early 30s, and back then at Tampa Catholic, and to some extent now, it's a lot of people, they were kind of specialized basketball, football and that kind of thing. Daryl may remember we would, after we would work out, then we would go in and play some pickup basketball. We had, God rest his soul, Calvin McGee was one of my coaches, played for the Bucs and dear friend. And so we were playing pickup basketball coaches with a bunch of the guys, and Daryl was there, playing basketball. He was coming in to TC the following year. And I remember I went up for a rebound underneath the basket. I kind of bounced into Daryl, and I said, well, you're kind of physical. I may need to get you a set of shoulder pads. And he said, no, coach, I'm going to play. And I said, I was shocked because, predominantly, I thought he was just going to be a basketball player. So I don't think how much football he had really played at that point. He came out the first day. Now we knew Kenny had some ability, and he was running routes like he'd been there all his life and all this kind of stuff. So then that night, all the coaches were like, oh my gosh, we've got something, right?
Yeah.
And so then, like the next day or something, Daryl doesn't show up, practice. You'll remember this. And so I'm like, well, where is he? So we called the house, and his dad answered. Joe's like, I'm like, this, coach. Like, what coach? I'm like, Coach Henriquez, coach football. Daryl's not playing football. I'm like, no. He's going to play basketball. We worry about his studies and that kind of thing. And I said, is it okay if we come over and talk to you?
Yeah. So
fortunately, he agreed to let him play football. The rest is history. I don't know, 3 or 4 national records broken his junior year, and the rest is history. But I will tell you, I don't know if I ever told Daryl, I ran into Joe a few years later at Home Depot, and we were in the same aisle, and I said, and I think. Daryl, I don't know if you signed your second contract yet or whatever. And we talked and we reminisced. And I said, by the way, do you think we made the right decision?
You brought that up.
I think you had just built an addition on the house or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, coach, I think so. So, no, God, I love these guys. So I tell people and I'm fortunate. I've had a chance to serve the public in public service in the state house and now in property appraiser and what have you. But I always say that, I answer to dad first, and coach second as the most honorable things and so when these guys come back, or if I run into them around the city and that kind of thing, or they call me, it just does my heart good because they've given me more back than I ever was able to give them as a coach.
So was he a tough coach, Daryl?
Yes, he was a tough coach, especially first Jesuit week.
Oh no,
he was a great coach, though. Looking back at it, snotty nosed kid. We think we know everything. You know what I'm saying? So we bucked the rules a couple of times, but
he wasn't having any of it, was he?
No.
Kick you out of practice?
Plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of times he would kick me out of practice, but
I kicked him out one time. I'll tell you, JP, we kicked him out one time, and he was just being foolish or whatever, and so we said, that's it, go inside. He comes back out with a basketball, and they had basketball courts outside, like he was trying to tell me, see, I could just be playing basketball. So.
That's exactly what happened.
But when it came down to game time.
No, I'll tell you what, a gamer, and listen, hard worker, handful, but that's okay. Sometimes, the guys that are the best players have a little dog in them. You have to know, you have to treat people. I think Sam White said it best. Sometimes you have to treat people equally but differently. So you have to figure out what motivates them. But played both ways, special teams. I still remember. He'll remember this. We went up to Eustis, this little town. We used to call them the right at the Hardee's towns because you'd say, "How do you get to the school? Take a right at the Hardee's," right? So we go up,
exactly where that Hardee's is. Yes,
and, they don't become a big town, so they get a McDonald's. So we go up to Eustis and we're in warm-ups. And he runs a basic, a dig route over the middle, and Kenny throws this seed and it hits him. Remember, and he dislocated his finger. He comes up to me, coach, and his finger's like on top of the other one.
Oh,
and right there it is. So I grabbed the finger. I didn't even call the trainer because they would have, gosh, who knows? Trainers, they won't put tape on it. They're like, oh, he's out for the game. So I said, this is the old days. So I grabbed it. I said, I'm going to on 3, 1, and on 2, I pulled it. Right, popped it in place, and we put some tape around it. Ran the same route that we had called first play of the game. He went about 65 for a touchdown. So this guy, he's unbelievable, and again, it's amazing having Kenny. He had an amazing arm. We ran pro cuts. I mean, as far as the depths of our routes, and Kenny, he backpedaled so fast in his drop that we really couldn't really throw 5-step drops because things wouldn't time up. And so he used to run the comeback route. And if you're familiar with football, when you run the comeback, he knows this 20-18 to the wide field, and a high school quarterback can throw that. It was like stealing. It could be 3rd and 18, and we had to play.
Right.
Oh man, we could go on forever, couldn't we, Daryl?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you guys can do that at the banquet coming up there.
That.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what I love about the sports club at Tampa Bay, because there's not a whole lot of venues where we can bring you guys together and bring you back and celebrate the great things that you guys have accomplished and be immortalized in Tampa Bay, because we have a hell of a history here, and there's so many great through all the sports, and you guys are part of it, and will always be part of it. And we really appreciate you. And thank you for coming and being part of it, because your crew alone is going to have about 20 tables. So we love that. We love that.
The TC will be represented.
In the house, baby.
I promise
Mr.
not to
Lou.
kick a garbage can. So back in the day, if it was bad at halftime, he'll know this. I used to kick the garbage can. Sometimes they'd actually set one in front of me if it was a bad half. So, yeah.
So before you go,
Yeah.
you going to vote for him for mayor if he decides to run for mayor?
I don't know.
You can't vote. You're in Washington.
I don't know.
Maybe a second term. Who knows? But yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm
my
seriously
homestead is
considering
here.
it.
I had Buckhorn in here a couple weeks ago.
I'm sure you did. He's
So
everywhere.
I don't know.
Well, we're good friends. This is not a, we're close. I mean, he introduced me at my first campaign kickoff in 1997 when I ran for state house, and I'm close to the family and that kind of thing. But
politics is politics.
It's the other contact sport I know a little bit about.
I'm a one issue voter.
Okay.
And you think you know what that issue is?
That's probably the Rays.
Yeah, it is. Well, I do have a problem with property taxes too, but that's a whole other story. We all do.
Just give me a call. We'll see what we can do about that.
So, how are you in the Rays Stadium?
I'm going to be honest, completely honest. I think that it's important. I think all of us are in agreement. We want the Rays to be here.
Yeah.
And it's just, but the devil's in the details, and there's a short time frame here.
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure it's a good deal for both sides. And so they're working through that. I'm not privy to all of the, you read what you have in the paper, and everybody's kind of
they don't read
themselves.
that. Don't read that paper.
I understand that.
Terrible.
So, it's a matter of the deal being fair to both sides.
Right.
Hopefully they're working towards that. I think, generally the best deals, whether it be in life or in politics, are the ones in which both sides are equally disappointed. And so, the Rays, I think, have to come a little bit. Ken Hagan has said that. I know he's the biggest proponent for that. And then the county and the city have to not play politics, play smart, and figure out what's the best deal for everything. But hopefully we'll have baseball here. I'm not sure, where else the Rays really could go. So, hopefully there's a little bit of leverage there on one side, and then hopefully there's enough political will, because that's the biggest thing. You've got elections coming up, and it's really difficult when politics gets involved and being the ability to be elected. Fortunately, I won't be up on the ballot either way until after this is already decided.
Okay.
So I don't have to take a position.
There you go.
The only position I will say is the CIT is a little bit hicky, because I think when you go to the polls and you vote for something based on what you believe it means, that $200 or $300 million probably could be found someplace else. So I've taken a position on that. But
on the CIT,
on the CIT, I think they could find that otherwise, or split the difference. But otherwise, let's see what happens. And right, I'm here to talk sports.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to talk about politics, trust me, but we get dragged into it with something like this with the Rays, and it's and I know I've realized this. It gets nasty and dirty, and when it comes down to the politics and this much money, it gets ugly.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Well, I've always tried to, there's a couple of things that I think are important. One is, instead of what's legal or what's politically expedient, do what's right. And then and be reasonable,
Yeah.
And if we would approach politics the same way we have to approach our life, the way you are around your kitchen table, trying to figure out, do we have enough money to pay the bills and also take a trip to Outback or to Disney? That's the problem, is that sometimes we're not talking enough. We're not listening enough to each other.
Yeah. We all pretty much want the same things.
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
are not as divided as people would lead us to believe. That's for damn
Back
sure.
to Darryl, what a handful he was. Gee whiz.
Yeah. No, we're going to skip right over that. We're going to skip right over
this, though. One of the worst calls in Super Bowl history was that offensive pass interference. You guys would have won that game.
I'll give up my time if we can get the Rays right back here.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
There we go.
All
Yeah,
right.
we all want the Rays to stay here, but it does have to be the right deal, and I think we're going to get there.
Yeah,
I think we'll get there. Now we'll all have a beer at the new stadium right over here across from Raymond James.
Yes, indeed.
How's that sound?
2 beers.
All right, sounds good. I'm
Let's
buying.
do one.
No, he's buying. He's got all the money. All right, guys, thank you for jumping in here. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We got a big Orestes Estrada show coming up here in about 20 minutes. So we'll talk some Rays baseball. Thank you guys for joining us. Timmy, my producer on the other side, you take this out of this thing. We'll get this out. We're going to have tons of people there. Tampa Catholic. Lou, thank you for being here. Sports Club at Tampa Bay. They can go to sportsclubattampabay.org, right? That's the website to get your tickets to support everybody here. We're going to have a really, really fun night. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, on Monday. Go Bolts.
No, you're trying to recruit him back to TC, man.
I was trying to bring my boys back with
It's not recruiting. It's just trying to explain the value of a Catholic education.